Tonight on Trading Shots, what have we learned about Division A after 2 weeks? Over-under wins returns for Division B. And finally, OpTic, Luminosity, or Rise. Which team will take first once Division B concludes? Maven, welcome back. Ben, you're probably happy because you got smoked by chance. Let's see if you can bounce back this week. Let's get started. For First Blood, we're going to do some reflection. We're now halfway through Division A in Stage 2, and over the past 2 weeks, we've done a few predictions with over and under and contender or pretender. Now, with the power of hindsight, what has been the biggest takeaway from the first 2 weeks of Division A? Benson, I'm going to let you go first.
Thanks, Joe. Also, Clint, thanks for coming back. A little bit of an easier competition this week.
The greatest analytical mind in esports is here again, buddy.
All right, calm down. I know you
Alrighty.
laughed. Chance beat me, but I watched Nameless destroy you a couple episodes ago, so I don't know why you're laughing yet.
That's 'cause Rich was here. It's fine. All right.
Especially considering my biggest takeaway is the fact that I was correct. The last time me and you were on Trading Shots, I said Red Reserve will be top of the division. The European boys didn't let me down. They just performed so well. Everyone had question marks over Joe. Oh, is the role swap going to work? Oh, is Joe going to go off? Joe went absolutely off. We're talking about most improved player? It's Joe's title. No one else even comes close. He's been phenomenal the first 2 weeks. And Red Reserve as a whole, they're sitting pretty in the #1 spot.
Okay, for me, God, it's got to be Echo Fox. They're still crap. You know, they convinced me in Stage 1.
Clint, wasn't that the team that you said was going to be really good and was
Listen,
guaranteed top
Ben,
4?
I was gonna get to this point. You know, they had me tricked in Stage 1 with some top 6 performances. In Stage 1, I was behind them. Thought they were going to perform well. They stunk. For Stage 2, I was convinced again. Now with Tip on the team, they're going to be great. They still stink. Their hard point is just so bad. I don't get it because you have such great players on the team when you talk about skill-wise. I don't know if it's just a lack of in-game IQ, poor communication, but it's pathetic. Like, when you look at that 4-man roster, there's no reason they shouldn't be performing better. And, Joe, you're right. They are in the hunt, absolutely, but I expected a lot more. I think you expected a lot more. I know Nameless expected a lot more.
I didn't.
Ben, you know what? You went on your little EU tirade, blah, 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 picking the easy thing. You've been
the easy thing. Red Reserve being top.
3 trading shots, Ben.
Since Joe's been host, who's won more?
You've won 3 total trading shots.
I am winning.
Honestly, I think Wretch, well, he is wretched. Rich was a better host.
You think Richard's a better host? All right, well, for that, you don't get any points right there. Ben, you're going to get some points. Yes, I agree with you. Red Reserve, you're going to get 1 point, Ben, for that one. Okay. Red Reserve, you know, I have to agree with you. They looked great. Obviously, the addition of Scraps playing out well.
Rich.
They're 6-1. They did lose, you know, 1 series throughout the first couple of weeks, but they are in prime position for playoffs. Maven, if it wasn't for that comment, I was going to give you some love, but now I'm not because, to be honest, I agreed with you. I thought Echo Fox, I thought this was a team. They've had plenty of time to fix their hard point, and it just didn't happen.
Do we have a record of how many points I've lost myself?
Probably
by
more
saying
than you've
stupid
won.
things?
Good amount.
Probably, yeah.
A few weeks ago, we did over-under total wins for each team in Division A. And now with Division B coming into Columbus, it's only right that we play with a new 8 teams. The first team is OpTic Gaming. In Stage 1, OpTic finished with 10 wins, but with a different squad now. They're coming in Division B with Methods and Octane replacing Formal and Karma. I think it's safe to say they'll get close to that total again. So Maven, over-under 9.5 wins for OpTic.
Well, I think it's over. You know, they were able to go 10-4 with a team that didn't like playing with each other. Now you have a team that actually enjoys playing together, and there's kind of like 3 things I want to point out. Think about the upgrades. Obviously, you go from Octane over Formal. That is clearly an upgrade this year. You go from Methods over Karma. I think.
Wait a second. Wait, you said Octane over Formal is an upgrade for you.
It is. This year, it absolutely has.
All right.
Who are you and what have you done with Maven?
What happened to Maven?
I've said that multiple times this year.
I've never said that.
Yes, I have. Yes, I have. Yes, I have. And Methods over Karma, also an upgrade. And then also we've seen, well, how well they've been doing in scrims is one thing. I know it's online, but still they've been playing very well. And then there was a comment from Clayster in his stream yesterday where he says he thinks OpTic might be the best team in the game. If there's somebody's judgment that I'm going to take, I trust Clay. He's been around a while, and I think it's worth listening to. I think they're going to be very, very strong. I think 10 wins is definitely manageable. And then this is the one thing that really struck to my mind. When you think about Scump might be the worst player on this team right now. And if Scump is the worst player on your team, you're probably going to win a lot. And that's not saying that Scump has been bad. That's just how stacked this team currently is in Call of Duty World War II. I think they easily go for more than 10 wins.
Well, I think too, right? Scump obviously had his inconsistencies, but they haven't played that much. But yeah, OpTic Gaming, they're looking good. All right, Ben, what do you got?
I'm so glad you brought up Clay's quote. So glad, because you forgot a little bit of what he said after that. He said, Maybe it's just due to online performances. OpTic Gaming has always historically been an online team. There's no beating around the bush with that one.
Yeah.
He also said it may be. No, of course I have. I've been around. I've been watching the games.
No, but they have
my point
dominated
is,
online for a long
you're going to
time.
bring up Clay's quote. I'm going to give you the full quote. He also said it might be a honeymoon phase. And there was some extra stuff added to the quote as well, but there's no need to go into that. But my point here is you go off players and statistics. I'm going to do it the easy way. The over and under was 9, right? You think about that division, how heavily stacked, right? There's 4 teams which we know are going to finish in playoffs, pretty much, let's be honest, unless some crazy upsets finish. It's a very stacked division in the sense of it's very top heavy. So you think, all right, well, they have to play the other 3 teams twice, so that's 6 games. So maximum they're going to lose is 6. They're beating everyone else. Are they going to lose each time they play another team? Absolutely not. I have them at 10 wins. I think this squad has improved with the roster changes as well, but for me, it's over.
All right, so both of you guys agree they're both going to go over, so I'll go ahead and hand you 1 point each because you basically said the same thing. I agree with you, though. Who is going to beat OpTic Gaming multiple times? It's going to be tough. Maybe I see them splitting the series with Rise. Maybe I see them splitting the series with Luminosity. I think this team gets 11 or 12, 12 wins throughout Division B. It'll be a lot of fun to watch. Next team up, Luminosity Gaming. LG also finished with 10 wins in Stage 1, but now they have Formal instead of Octane. Safe to say, LG will get close to that total again. Ben, over under 9.5 wins for Luminosity.
Well, Maven's probably going to say over, and he's probably going to give them 14 wins because Formal's on the squad now. So
Whoa,
they're probably
come
not
on,
going to lose.
just say Octane's a better player. This year,
I
sorry.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
It was weird to hear him say it. Let's just say that. So you look at the squad. I think out of the power squads in this division, I probably have them maybe the lowest. I think Rise is definitely better, and I think OpTic Gaming is probably better than them right now. 9.5, though, it's the same logic I just used with OpTic Gaming. How many teams are going to continuously beat them? Even if they lost, maybe 5, I still think you can add an upset in there, but they should still finish over 9.5. This is a good squad that I think should finish with double-digit wins. If they don't, it'd be very, very surprising in my opinion.
All right.
Oh, I'm a little bit torn on this one. I agree with a lot of the logic you stated, but this is what the big test is. Obviously, the Formal Octane thing, but think about what Octane did. When you talk back to Stage 1, he had a 1.13 respawn KD, he had a 1.23 S&D KD, both tops of his team. Formal has very, very big shoes to fill. And everything I'm hearing is LG has struggled in scrims.
That's all we're
Formal
hearing.
has not been the same player that he once was. And again, this is online scrims. We'll see what happens on LAN, but this is my concern. Do I think that Formal can get back to form where he is one of the best players in the game? Absolutely. The concern comes from this. If you have an LG team that has been dominant, consistent top 3, and even back then, they go 10-4. Remember, they kind of had a little bit of slide at the end. They were trying different maps. They were trying different stuff. So think about that. If you have a little bit of a slide, and then also, I think LG might struggle at least in the opening week or 2. They're going to come and have to figure out some things on LAN. I don't think it's going to be pretty the first week or 2. So I actually think they could end with somewhere around like 9 wins, which still gets them into the top 4, and I don't think it's going to be an issue. But if there's a little bit of a slide early, and then any kind of struggle late, any kind of upset, is 9-5 possible? I think it certainly is.
So you're going under, Maven?
I think, I actually might go under. I think they finish 9-5.
You might go under, or are you going under?
I'm going under. 9-5.
I agree with you 100%. So I'm going to give a point to Maven here. Ben, I do agree they have a ton of talent, but I think they just have a lot of issues to fix. You heard about it from whispers from all of the different pro players. This team has been struggling online. I think they have a lot of things to fix. I think they'll make playoffs easily, as you guys said. Not the toughest division, but I see them losing to Rise. I see them losing to OpTic. I can even see them splitting the series with Eunited. I think this team finishes around 9-5 or 8-6. It'll be interesting to watch.
I'm hearing some crazy stuff, though, man. I've had multiple players come up to me and be like, Formal's bad at this game. And I'm just like, wow.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what happens because it's just difficult for me to fathom that. Like, is it bad compared to Formal standards? Or are they saying, like, bad? Like, he's one of the greatest players of all time. Maybe the best they are over the past 3 years. So if he gets back to that form, this team could be dominant. But I think there's going to be some early struggles, personally.
Yeah. We'll have to wait and find out. You feel like these guys, though, they know that a lot of people are watching them. A lot of people want them to fail. We'll have to find out and see if they do fail. Moving right along to Unilad. They finished with 7 wins in Stage 1, but, they lost their best player in scraps and they picked up Alex. Maven, I don't think they're going to get up to 7. Instead, I'm putting their over and under at 4.5 wins. What do you think?
I think they go over that, and really,
I think they go over 4.5. I think they get 5.
I absolutely do. I think they could get close to 7. So this comes down to one conversation I had with Scraps on Hot Mic. He said if there is a team in this group when we discussed Division B that has a chance to upset the top 4, he thinks it's Unilad. I asked him flat out, has this team gotten better since you left? He said yes, absolutely.
There's
They've been
no way that's
destroying
true.
online in scrims.
Shocker! His brother said his brother's playing well. Who would have ever imagined
I
the
don't want to
world?
hear Scraps' points. I want to hear your points.
This is my point.
Okay.
Talking to Scraps about this team, they played against them with Ret. Like, he's played against them and said they played them tough online. Like, yes, it's online, but I think this team has a chance to make some noise, maybe pull off an upset. Do I think they're getting top 4? No. But do I think they get more than 4.5 wins? I really do. I absolutely do.
So you have them getting 5 or 6 wins.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Ben, what do you got?
Interesting. Didn't expect
Agreed.
that.
I think it's very interesting.
Didn't expect you to say that. For me, it's under, right? You look at what they achieved in Stage 1. They've lost their best player. They've arguably lost the best player in Europe. Has the players that have replaced them going to come in and have a big impact? No, it's not like they picked up a star-studded player either. Unilad was the one team when Rostamania was going down, which was kind of left in shambles, right? As I said, they lose Scraps. Scraps is such an influential player on this team. For me, I think who are they going to beat? Are they going to beat any of the top 4 in the group? No. Like, maybe they split a couple of games here and there, but this is a team which is more than likely going to finish, you know, in that 6th place. For me, I think the 2 Australian teams are going to finish a little low, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. But 4.5, they're under.
I think 4.5's low.
I think it's very low, and I think that's about where their talent is. It's going to be 4 wins.
I believe in the power
maybe they go
of
5.
Twins. Wuskin is going to reincarnate his Scraps.
All right. Yeah, this is a tough one, but I have to agree with Ben here. How many give Benson a point? I don't think there's a way with this new Unilad team. I just don't see it. I don't think they beat Eunited that often. I don't think they beat Rise, Luminosity, even Complexity, Mindfreak. The way that even Mindfreak looked, yes, they've had their struggles, but is Unilad really going to beat Mindfreak twice? I personally don't think so, Ben. That's why I'm giving you a point. Next team to discuss is a newcomer to the Pro League in Complexity. Boasting a squad of Ricky, Dashy, Blast, and Sensor, they will look to make their presence known. A middle-of-the-pack team seems about right for them, Benson. So what do you say about an over-under of 5.5 wins for Complexity?
5.5? I'm going to go over. I think that's a fair estimate for this Complexity team. I think, you know, we've already talked about how top-heavy this division is. Will they beat any of the top 4 teams? Maybe they get 1 or 2 wins. And then you look at the other bottom 3 teams, I think they beat them convincingly.
That would be an upset, right? Like
it would be an upset.
One.
But
okay.
I'm going to give them a little bit of leeway. Maybe they cause an upset, and maybe they get upset as well, right? For me, I think they finish with 6 wins, and I think that's very realistic. They can beat all 3 teams underneath them twice, and maybe they get an upset from one of the big dogs. Are they at that level yet? You know, I've been a big fan of Dashy. A lot of pros have said Dashy's overrated this, overrated that. I stood behind him and watched him drop 20 kills in a search and destroy.
Yeah, it's pretty polarizing. It's he's the next big thing, or he is just way too overrated.
It's one or the other. For me, I think he's a fantastic player, and I love the experience Sensor's going to bring to the squad as well. So for me, I'll go over with 6.
All right. Clint, what do you got to say?
I'm going to go over as well. Talking about this team, I mean, Douglas Sensor Martin is on the squad. There's no way that he is not going to perform at the highest level. He says he's going to win champs this year, but no, I really think they have the best chance to kind of compete and maybe shock. It could be like between them and United on the bubble to see who gets in. But I think we saw CWL Seattle was kind of a microcosm of what this team can do. We saw some upsets. They looked so good kind of on Friday in pool play, and then things sort of fell apart on Saturday. They had some losses they shouldn't have. I just think they're going to be all over the place. I think they can come out and beat like an LG and then get upset by a Unilad. That's what I'm worried about with this squad, but I just don't think 5.5 wins is all that crazy. I think they can pull that off.
All right, so I'm both going to give you a point. You both agreed. I have to agree with you as well. I think this team should sit right around 500, right around 6 and 8. But I think they may have a slow start. But as you said, Sensor, this is a guy that has wanted to get in the Pro League. He doesn't want to waste his time. He wants to make his presence known. I'm excited to watch Complexity.
I'm excited to watch you.
Thank you. Next up, Mindfreak is returning to the Pro League, but they only mustered up 4 wins in Stage 1. I think that's where we're going to start with them. Clint, over under 4.5 wins for Mindfreak.
I'm going under. And this might be shocking. I'm done with Mindfreak. I'm literally, they exhaust me. I've been casting for like 4 or 5 years now. I don't know. I'm old.
You are old.
Ever since I've been involved, they've had like 1 good performance, and since then, it's been like, oh, they make it to the Pro League for APAC due to region rules. Oh my God, they never have any good scrims. Like, oh, they're gonna show up. Oh, they play people tough. Oh, they don't win any series. they got what 2 wins off Vitality in stage 1, and they still go 4-10. Like I have
had
no
some
faith
highlights.
in this team. I'm done with it. They have some highlights that bring them close in series. Joe, are they winning those series?
No, I was just saying they had some highlights.
I'm sick of it. I have literal Mindfreak fatigue. I'm done with it. I'm not rooting for this team. I'm not pulling for this team. I don't have any faith in them. They're going to come in. They're going to play people close. They're going to lose. No chance to get top 4. Bye. See you later, Mindfreak.
All right, Ben. A very strong argument right there from Clint.
I'm done with him.
He's done.
I mean, this is almost as easy as Epsilon. Under. To be honest, Mindfreak should stay down under. I wouldn't even bother getting on the plane. It's the same thing as Maven. I can just repeat the same thing, but I have the same argument. I'm done watching Mindfreak play. Oh, they don't get good practice. Boo-hoo. Why don't you fly to America a couple of weeks early and get that practice? There's absolutely nothing stopping the players doing that if the players wanted to do that. I'm fed up of watching them play. I really am. I think this is a team that has so much potential, and we never get to see it.
How many times have we said that? Like, I think I've said that 40 times, Ben.
Right, and it's just tiring. Like, maybe they get 2 wins. Maybe they get 3. They're not beating any of the top 4 teams, let's be honest. Are they going to beat Complexity? Probably not. Tainted Minds, that's the best team in Australia right now. They're probably not going to beat them. Unilad? Ooh, okay, maybe. Good for you. Mindfreak, they finish under.
So
So
you have them both of you have them under 4 wins, 4.5. You think they're going to be 4-10, 3-11?
2 wins.
I think 4-10.
It would not shock me if they finished bottom of this
group
division.
is very similar to the group they had last time. Like, this is sort of the Division A of last time with 4 kind of strong teams in them. Like, they might beat Tainted Minds, maybe. I don't think they're going to do that. Like, I have no expectations for them. They're going to get the crap beat out of them by the top teams.
All right, I agree with both of you with both the points, right? There's always this thing, Mindfreak, all right, we got to give them time. They're going to practice. They'll struggle early on the first couple of weeks, but don't worry. They're going to be in America. They're going to be playing the best teams in the world. They'll get better, right? Wrong.
Week 2, they'll go home and come back and suck in week 3.
Yeah, well, they'll go to Anaheim after week 2, but we'll see how they do there. We'll see how they improve. After Anaheim, that's when they're going to digress. But anyways, yeah, it's just so tough to call. You obviously want to hope that Mindfreak continues to get better. Do I think they get more than 4.5 wins? Sure, probably 5-9, not many more, but I agree with you guys. I'm both going to give you a point. We'll have to see if Mindfreak can finally bring it here in Stage 2. Up next, we have the newcomers. We have Tainted Minds joining us in Columbus for Division B. They had to go through relegation to reach this point, and being the lesser Australian team, I think the bar is low for them. Ben, over under 3.5 wins for Tainted Minds.
Over. And obviously, you mentioned the lesser Australian team. I already mentioned. To me, I think they're the best team in Australia. I'm sure Clint probably agrees with that. Will they beat Mindfreak? Yeah, probably. So to me, that's 2 wins.
You think they're going to beat Mindfreak?
Yes, absolutely. Can they cause an upset against the like of Unilad? Yeah. Why not, right? I can see it happening. For me, I think they probably finish with around about 4, maybe 5 wins. Do I expect them to do anything miraculous against the top 4? No, absolutely not. But for me, it's going to be those teams that finish 5th, 6th, and of course the team underneath them, which I believe is going to be Mindfreak, that I think they're going to beat, and they're going to beat pretty convincingly. So for me, over.
I view it a little bit differently, but I'm still going over. So this is how I see it.
Are you guys okay today? You're going over.
Hold, Joe! Shh!
What is going on?
I don't think that Tainted Minds is a better team than Mindfreak. I think they're a hungrier team. This is why I'm fed up with Mindfreak. They expect to be in there. They've been the #1 team in APAC forever. They expect to be in the Pro League. I hear they complain about having to come to the States, complain about having to travel, complain about this. It feels self-entitled to me. Tainted Minds is excited to be here. They're excited to play in the Pro League. They're going to come in hungry. They're going to want to improve. And I think there's a lot more passion there, a lot more excitement just behind them. And I actually do think just that will to play, the will to be in the Pro League, the desire to compete, I think it's going to carry them past 3.5 wins. I don't think talent-wise they're better than Mindfreak. I don't know that you could really make that argument, but I do think just the want to be there is big, because I think the opposite of that has plagued Mindfreak for so long. So I'm going over with Tainted Minds.
It's that exact point that you just made, Clint, which makes them better than Mindfreak. They are going to be hungry. They are going to sit on that main stage, look to their left or their right, and they're going to see Mindfreak, and they're going to realize this is our stage. This is where we can become the #1 team in Australia.
I'm actually really excited for that matchup.
It's going to be great.
Weird.
Yeah, I'm excited for it, but there's no, you guys are you guys okay? You think they're going to get more than 3.5 wins?
Yep.
All right, well, neither of you guys get points because I disagree with you wholeheartedly. Are you serious? I do not see this team. Maybe they get a couple of wins over a Complexity.
Where's Rich?
Over a Unilad.
Rich.
But they're not beating any of the top 4 teams. It's not happening. They may split their series with Mindfreak. I have them at 2 or 3 wins going into Stage 2. I'm excited. I think you guys bring up great points because, yeah, I see the same things you guys do with Mindfreak. It's exhausting, right? You just want them to get better, and then it's like, oh, we're here. Like, we have no friends. I guess the good thing for Tainted Minds is they will have Mindfreak with them at the apartments to hang out with, you know, a little bit more of a comfortable area, but I just don't see it happening.
4 wins. Mark my words, Joe. Mark them.
So you have them 0.5 up. Then
5 wins, Joe. Mark them.
No. People have to lose.
6! Well, no, I'm kidding.
People have to lose. Only a couple of teams left to discuss, and the next one is United. They finished with 7 wins in Stage 1 and made the playoffs, but prior to Seattle, they made a change, dropping Silly in favor of Fellow, and performed admirably. Now they return to Stage 2, and 7 wins feels right. Maven, over under 7.5 wins for United.
I'm going to go over for them, and a lot of it comes down to the fact they started so
you
slow
just
in
think
Stage
everybody's winning in this?
They were horrendous in Stage
Okay.
1 to begin. They had to make the crazy run, right? But it also boils down to a couple of things. You know, I wasn't the biggest fan of the felony silly switch on paper, but there is one thing that really stood out to me when I was taking a look through the stats from Stage 1. Silly, who's had some great performances recently in Search, didn't play well at all in Stage 1. He had a .65 KD. It led to a 44% win rate for them in Search, which they could have been a lot better in. Remember, they had a lot of long series. If Felony can come in, who's been a Search and Destroy sort of expert in his career, if he can come in and improve them just in that capacity, I think they have a chance to improve on where they were. And again, it's kind of top-heavy here. United is going to have to get upset by some of the bottom teams. Do I think they do a lot better than 7? No, I don't. But I think they're going to beat the 7.5. I do.
All right. Ben, what do you got?
Fully agree. I think United is a team that goes over 7.5.
We suck at debating, man. We disagree.
But I agree, but for different reasons. Here's my logic.
All right, let's hear
Stage
your
1, Division A, the team that finished 4th was TK. They finished with 8 wins. Stage 1, Division B, 4th was, of course, United that finished 7-7. Now, I look at this Division B for Stage 2, and I see 4 very, very heavily stacked teams at the top.
Yep.
3 maybe really poor teams at the bottom, then you have complexity kind of in there in the middle. So for me, to beat 7, I don't think that's going to be a hard task for United. Are they going to consistently beat the likes of OpTic, Rise, LG? No, of course not. Can they steal series? Absolutely. Can they split series? Absolutely. But every other team underneath them, I think they should be consistently beating. I think Clint brings up a fantastic point of how slow they started, if you remember Stage 1, but how clutch they were in the latter part. And I think Clay's going to learn from that, and he's going to really make sure that this time around, there's no messing around for United. They're going to start strong.
No, definitely so. I actually agree with you guys. I think this team finishes with about 8 to 9 wins. Maybe they upset one of those top 3 teams. I'm going to give you both 1 point because, once again, you're agreeing with basically everything today. But, yeah, I think United is a team that, once again, they had so many, inconsistent results throughout Stage 1, just a lot of chokes, and then they did go on a great run. I think with Fellow, they're going to come out with the fire. I'm excited to watch them, throughout Stage 2. Last team in Division B is Rise Nation. In Stage 1, they finished with 11 wins with Methods on the team. Now in Stage 2, Slasher has taken Methods' spot, and 11 wins might be a small number for this squad, but that's where we're going to set it. Benson, over under 11.5 wins for Rise Nation.
I'm going to go under, but I want it to be known. I think Rise is currently the best team in the game. I think best team in the world. I think Slasher, best AR as well. But here's the problem. With how top-heavy this division is, I can see them maybe losing more than 2, right? 12-2 would be a great record for them, but for me, I just think you have to leave openings for upsets, right? Do I think upsets are going to happen with this Rise squad? No. Should they happen? No. But I think you have to be realistic when we talk about it. 13-1 was unbelievable. It was crazy, crazy run. But will they split with the like of OpTic Gaming? Maybe.
That's one
LG? Maybe. Will they get upset by a team like maybe Complexity, who come out of nowhere? For example, when you get to the latter parts of the stage, when Complexity's playing for their life, if they need to win to finish top 4 and they come against Rise, maybe they bring the fire. I just think you need to leave that cushion to be kind of realistic, and that's why I'm going to say under.
I totally disagree. I'm going to take the over here, and I get your points, but they are still the best team in the world. And even if what Clay said, if OpTic come in and they're playing like the best team, that's still only 2 losses. Personally, I think they'll likely end up splitting with OpTic Gaming. LG, from the form we're hearing LG is in, I don't think they're going to take out Rise. Now, you mentioned some upsets. I don't really think so. This Rise Nation team is just so good. If you take a look at Stage 1 when they went 13-1, all of their game modes were so consistent. You're talking like a 75% to 83% win rate in all 3. That's just absurd. And now you have Slasher over Methods. Now, was it a massive upgrade? No, but it was an upgrade. I just refuse to believe this team isn't going to be as good as that. I'm taking the over, man. They're the best team in the world until OpTic proves otherwise.
No, I have to agree with Clint here. You're going to get a point. The only thing that worries me a little bit is after Seattle, did Rise not practice? Did they not play? I don't think that happens with this squad. I think this is a group of guys who every single day wants to be the best team in the world. And now that they're at that point, they're going to want to prove it. When they're on that main stage, yes, I can see them maybe losing twice to OpTic or splitting series with LG and OpTic. I think the lowest they finish is at 12-2. Have to agree with Clint here. That's going to do it for Over, Under, and Quickscope. Now it's time for the Grand Finals. We're sticking with Division B to make another bold prediction. OpTic Gaming, Luminosity, and Rise Nation are easily the top 3 teams in Division B. That's not a question. The question is, for the both of you, which one is the best? Which one of the teams will finish with a better record at the end of Division B?
I was right last time, Joe. Last time I made a bold prediction, I got it correct.
About Red.
This time I think I'm going to be correct as well. Rise. It's simple. They're the best team in the world right now with the best players in the world. Now, obviously, before I mentioned, I think they finished maybe around 11, maybe 12 wins. I think that's enough. I think that's enough for them to finish first. I really do. I think Clint even mentioned it before. At best, they split with OpTic Gaming. Maybe they split with LG. If LG really improve when they go into the second stages. But I don't think there's that many teams that can beat them. And I think when we talk about the team that should finish top, you have to think about the team who is less likely to get upset by the other teams. And for me, that's Rise. I think Rise should consistently finish 3-0s against a lot of the teams in their division. And because of that,
I like the Rise pick. I mean, obviously, I said previously when we talk about Rise, I think right now you cannot say they're not the best team in the world. But I do think when Division B is done, at the end of it, when we take a look at it, I think OpTic Gaming is going to be sitting at the top. The more I think about this team, there was a point where I was a little bit, not frustrated, but I didn't give them maybe the best grade with the roster move because I knew they were trying to go after the likes of Hook, Kenny, your Zumas. In place of Methods, they want another submachine gun, another fast-paced player. And at first, I was like, Methods isn't really that. But the more I think about it, it's just a clear upgrade over Formal and Octane the way he's been this year. It's a clear upgrade with Methods over Karma with the way they played this year. This four-man roster, it could end up being the most talented roster that we've ever seen, at least in Call of Duty World War II. So if there's anyone that has a chance, to do better than Rise, it is OpTic Gaming, man. It is OpTic. They're in a honeymoon period. They're having fun playing together again.
Maybe.
I think OpTic's going to be number one.
You just said they're the most skilled team in World War II. Is that really what you just said?
Those four players, you could absolutely make that debate. How could you not? If you're talking just skill, like talent on that team.
You said the same thing about MV in like the second.
You don't think that's a fair judgment of that? Those four players.
Right now, no. Like they're coming off of the biggest dynasty.
You have the number one AR, number one or number two AR on the team.
You don't have. I'm sorry. Is Slasher pop up to Gaming?
Okay. Then let's say you have number 2 and 3. Let's say you have number 2 and 3 in Octane and Slasher. You have Krim, who's in top 3 sub range for subs. Scumpo, I don't even think we've seen his full potential yet. He hated playing alongside Formal. We knew everything that went on there. Like, you might end up having like 2 of the top 3 AR type players, and let's say 2 of the top 5 sub players if Scump gets back in form. Get out of here. That's going to be terrifying, man. I think they have the potential to be number 1.
I disagree completely. I think Rise is just the better team.
Right now, I totally agree. Right now, Rise Nation, best team in the world. You can't argue. But I'm just looking forward. If the potential is realized that we think OpTic might be able to do, if that is realized, they'll be number 1. And I think personally they're going to do it.
This is a tough one to call. I believe at this point you are both tied in points, so
are we?
I'm gonna declare a winner here. It's a tough one for me. Obviously, I don't think Luminosity is in the mix. I do think it is between OpTic Gaming and Rise Nation. The big thing for me is this is about the regular season. It's not about the playoffs. It's about that regular season, and I'm gonna agree with Clint here. I think OpTic Gaming is gonna finish number 1 in the regular season. I'm gonna tell you why. They want to prove to their fan base, to themselves, that they can compete with the best teams in the world. They're going to bring it every single time. They're going to bring that energy. We saw it once, I think, during Stage 1. Remember, like, that first game where they played TK, and there was all that crap talk back and forth. I think Rise may just be a little sluggish to start, but I think OpTic's the team that brings it. I think they're going to finish number 1. It may be a tie between these teams. There may be a tiebreaker, but I think it's OpTic. It's time now to put on your A40 ASTRO Gaming headsets because players, wait one second. Maven, we got something brand new for you. It's the Golden Special Edition Trading Shots A40 TR headset by ASTRO Gaming, which is now our sweet new trophy that the winner gets to wear at the end of the show.
This is sexy.
Thank you, ASTRO Gaming. Now that you have that beautiful headset on, it's time for the Smack Talk Winner Circle presented by ASTRO Gaming. Maven, take it away.
Ben, welcome back to reality. Losing. But I do have a couple people that I actually really want to go in on. Reedy, you asked for this. You said you want a little bit of trash talk. You want to be roasted because last time I did it, you guys got a couple of victories. So here we go. Epsilon, you stink. The fact you're in the Pro League is a miracle based only on rules. Watching you guys makes my eyes bleed, my ears bleed, viewers cry, people die. It's painful to watch you guys play Call of Duty. I need you to be more competitive because it's disgusting. Pick it up. You have 4 talented players, but you're running around with like people without brains. I hate it. Next up.
You got more.
Enable, you might be the worst search and destroy player
we're going to
I've ever seen. I don't care if you need to take some prize winnings from back in the day when you won prize money, and pay 7 players to play Search with you. Play against 7 bots in Search and Destroy. Watch the old Courage Bot World League. I think anything that you can do outside of whatever your current method is will probably help you improve in Search and Destroy.
All right, that's some smack talk right there by Maven. I mean, you're not excited about Division B tomorrow to see OpTic, to see Luminosity. You're not going to give them some love. Whatever. Shots were traded. NCAA was debated. Division B starts tomorrow.